Our liberties we prize, and our rights we will maintain. This is Iowa Civil Rights History Podcast, where we tell stories about the contribution Iowans and the state of Iowa has made to advance the civil rights movement. Past stories are being told, present actions will be highlighted, and preparation for the future will be discussed. Here is your host, Eric Nyange.
Welcome to the Iowa Civil Rights History Podcast. I have two special guests on the show today, Mary Brown and Terry Hansen. Mary is the tattoo artist and the owner of the Studio 65, a tattoo shop in Clear Lake, Iowa. Terry, he's the reformed member of the white supremacy gang. So why do I have a tattoo artist and the former member of the white supremacy gang on the show today? Is the story you're about to find out. Mary, do you understand what you have done here? Because he came to the appointment late to get those crazy racist tattoo covered up. Mm-hmm. You did not judge him. Mm-mm. You helped him through the hurdle. Do you understand that if you did judge him, or if you refuse to do the tattoo, he will probably take a different path? Mm-hmm. Is that ever synced in?
It's pretty crazy when you do think about it like that. It's just such a reminder that you don't know how much such a simple, even the smallest thing you do in a day could drastically change the course of someone's life. Mm-hmm. So.
You believed in him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was, I don't know, you could just tell, like, he just really needed this. And one of the sweetest things afterwards was, I remember talking to him when I would be tattooing him about how, he couldn't take his shirt off, and summertime you want to take your kids to the beach or anything, and he couldn't take his shirt off because obviously people are going to stare and all this stuff. Yeah. And then he had talked about going on a vacation with his wife. It was for your anniversary and stuff, right? Yeah.
Yes.
He went there, and, I just love his little updates, like seeing his life. Like, he's staying out of prison and going on anniversary trips with his wife. Mm-hmm. And then he sent me pictures of him at the beach with his grandkids, and he's standing there in the water with his, he doesn't have a shirt on. And that was just like, oh, that's just so awesome.
Yeah,
you
are
that's
proud of it.
So cool.
Yeah,
like, you're just so grateful that everything worked out in the world, that you got to be a part of this person coming your way and create this friendship with them and create this bond. And he gets to share, like, I'll forever just cherish him getting to live his life now and knowing that I had even the smallest part in that,
Mary talks about doing the littlest things, and this is what a lot of people have to realize too, is that it doesn't matter if you just say hi to somebody, ask them how they're doing. But I remember the thing that sticks in my mind the most that Mary did for me was I was at the grotto. I don't know if you've ever
heard I've been there
with my wife and my sons, and she called me. She says, "Terry, I got an open spot this afternoon so we can finish up your tattoo on your chest." I never really thought that would ever happen, so I made sure I got back there. Yeah. And it's the little things like that. Because she could have gone home and spent time with her family because she didn't, have any other appointments. But instead, she was there to help me get through that, to do that. Yeah.
Now, what Mary just mentioned about you basically being ashamed to take your shirt off because of the short sticker tattoo. Mm-hmm. You went from being proud to take it off to make sure the whole world could see, to be ashamed of it.
Yes.
How come?
Well, it started out because with my family. The first time that I remember that I didn't want to take my shirt off, we were up at Valley Fair at the water park. And I didn't want to cause no problems for my kids. And this is after I'd gone through Prairie Ridge and I did my treatment and stuff. And so I've already got this thought process about what is right, what is wrong that I'm doing.
Oh, so the wheel was already start turning for you.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's like we discussed before where I was seeing the shaded area. Now, I wasn't just seeing where that line's drawn in the middle anymore.
Yeah.
I was up at the water park. I didn't want to take them. It wasn't that I couldn't. I could have always taken it off.
You didn't know.
But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to cause no problems for my family, for my sons, for my wife. I remember there was one water slide that I wanted to go on, and I discussed it with one of the lifeguards there, and I asked her if I could leave my shirt on, because what it was a water slide that the floor drops out. Well, they don't want no clothes getting hung up. So I understood the reason, and I explained to her why I didn't want to do that. She says, I understand, but I can't let you go on there if you're wearing your shirt.
Yeah.
So I never got to go on that water slide. And that's one of the things that sticks on my mind. So now I make sure I go on them water slides every time. So, yes.
For all the time I missed it.
Yes. I told you when I first got out and I was with my buddy, and we'd go into like convenience store, and I'd wear tank tops or white beaters all the time. And people would step out of my way, but I never noticed it because this is the way it's supposed to be for me. But he was like, geez, Terry, you notice that they step out of your way when you go? But I would walk with my chest out and everything, you know, so I knew how I was carrying myself at that time, but it was just so natural.
In your mind, did you think like people are afraid of me? That's why they're stepping out the way?
Fear for me at that time was respect. So I seen it as they were respecting me, even if they were afraid. If they were afraid, that's respect for me. That's the way that when you're in prison, that's what you're taught. When somebody fears you, you're respected for it. You know?
Oh, man. That's crazy. When people get the swastika tattoos, what does that mean? Does that mean they believe what Hitler did? They support what Hitler did? Or does that mean they don't believe Holocaust happened? Because I hear that story too. Or does that mean they say the Jews got what was coming?
Basically all the above, because what Hitler did covers so much of what's going on in other countries too when it comes to racism. Even though for Hitler, his main thing was going after the Jews. However, with Jesse Owens, he got up and left when Jesse Owens won for the Olympics. I don't know if very many people of your listeners will remember that. And that is also a thing, that reason why we get it too, because he didn't like anybody but the master race.
Okay.
So,
I did not know about Jesse Owens. He
Yes.
did?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you're right, because that Olympic was in Germany.
yes,
And
there's
Jesse Owens will represent United States.
Yes, they
And he
have
won,
film of it when Hitler actually got up out of his seat and left. When he left because of Jesse Owens.
Wow. It's crazy what people in a prison racist gang pay attention to.
Yes.
Could be getting up, go use the bathroom.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. The timing was off.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So when you have that tattoo, it does not just represent the Jews.
It represents everything that you
Every
don't like.
other race. Every other race you don't like.
Yep.
It represent on that.
Yep. And the whites are the only right ones. However, there's white people that we didn't like either. We thought of them as being another race because, like I said, when it came to interracial relationships, then they weren't nothing to us anymore.
Okay. So it's not just me personally. Let me put this scenario here quick. Let's say I join the gang, pure white racist gang. I'm joining the gang and I'm white, if you can picture that. And maybe one person in my family, they're in a interracial relationship. Further down the line, maybe my uncle is married to a black woman. Does that affect my membership to the gang?
No, because you have to disown them and not have nothing to do with them like that. However, if you, as a white man, was to marry a black woman or a Latino woman,
Cannot be.
nope, you cannot be in. Because
In the gang.
right then you have soiled yourself. You're no good no more. So you are no longer a part of what we believe in.
Interesting. How? Because most people join these gangs in a prison, majority of them.
Yes.
How do you know? Because sometimes I can look somebody and I have no clue if they're pure white. How do you know that? How do you test to make sure somebody's pure white?
It's kind of like being judgmental because you can tell by actions or way that this is the way we see it. But how you acted, how you spoke, So, and one of the things that...
Definitely if you listen to rap music, you're cut off the game.
Yeah, you didn't really listen to rap that much with them. And there was times when we couldn't ever find out, but it always would surface in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
It was there. So,
You can just say the wrong thing.
yes, or it could be somebody does a checkup on you. And
Outside?
Yes, and
Okay.
they'll check outside, and sooner or later, if there's dirt to be found, they find that dirt on you.
Wow. So the gang is doing a diligent job to make sure everybody's pure.
Yes, yes, because you don't want nothing to mix up what you have going on there whatsoever. You don't want nothing to happen to it.
Yeah. Now, you got 2 boys.
Yes.
What if your boys come home with a swastika tattoo on his chest?
Right now, I'd flip out. I would flip out.
Yeah.
However, I don't think I have to worry about that with my sons.
Okay.
You know, they've always done something I never did when I was their age. They had friends from other races. They actually got along with everybody, whereas I didn't do that as a child.
You did not welcome that.
No.
Yeah. But if your son would come with swastika tattoo 20 years ago, you'd probably be proud.
Yeah. I would have welcomed him into the fold, you know. I remember one time somebody asked me, what would you do if one of your sons came home with a black girl?
Good question.
Yes. My answer to them at that time was, well, she would not be allowed in my house. My son could come in.
Now, you would not disown your son? Because you would be violating the gang rules.
Right.
Right?
But I would look at my sons a lot differently than what I did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't treat them as well as I would. You know, I would be cutting them down as much as possible.
Yeah.
But I think the majority of it for letting them in would be because of my wife. You know, for my wife, because I loved my wife. For her, I'd be willing to do anything. No, I didn't really know my sons when they were growing up because I was gone for such a large part of their life. My youngest son was born when I was in the Fed system.
Oh, wow.
So he was he was like 9.5 when I got out.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't even know each other when I got out. My oldest son, he was 5 or 6 when I went in.
Oh, wow.
So, but for my wife, I was willing to try at that time, although it didn't work out the same way, you know, that she wanted it to at that time, in that time period. So,
You're a changed man now.
yes.
That usually is probably more harder than continue living the life you're living.
It is. It's real hard every day because I have to be aware of myself at all times and
Aware of your thoughts.
of my thoughts, of my actions. Sometimes, if I'm not careful with the words that I say, it's misconstrued. Mm-hmm. So I have to be very, very diligent at all times. I have to be very aware of myself.
Do you also have to be aware with the former gang members who are still in the life?
Yes, I'm always aware of my surroundings at all times, no matter where I go.
If they catch you with me on the street, are they possibly to jump on you than to jump on me?
Yeah, I'm the one that, because I'm doing
invited
what
that.
I'm not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember one of the first things I believe that I talked to Mary about was that I couldn't let people find out about what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, I was willing to accept the consequences for myself, but it was my family that I was worried about the most.
That was a hard thing to take in, that he's trying to make these changes in his life, but he's having to constantly live in fear of, if he doesn't, then he lives in fear of that. If he does, then he has this former gang he's associated with.
Yeah.
And, you know, are they going to try to hurt his family, or is there going to be consequences for him covering up these tattoos? You know?
Oh, I'm sure probably there's a consequences for you to cover the tattoos.
Oh, yeah. Especially like what we was discussing earlier, that if I go back to prison, I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man in there. It's because I got everything covered up, and it's like I disowned everybody. So I'm a traitor to them.
We're going to do everything to make sure you don't go back to prison.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we want to keep you alive.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though, because over here we champion when people change for the better.
I've been very fortunate because most of the people that I was with in there aren't from this area. However, there's areas, there's cities and stuff that if I go to, I have to be very, very aware of it, just in case, because I never know. They might spot me at Walmart and I don't see them. Mm-hmm. So I have to be very, very careful.
Are you having this conversation with your wife about protection?
I've talked to her several times about it, but she's going with me on this journey, so she wants me to be better. This is what she tells me today is that, because I've asked her several times, why did you stay with me all this time, all these years?
Good question.
And she told me because I'm now becoming the man that she always knew that I could be, instead of being the total that hated everybody. I suppose if you cut my heart out, it would have been black because with just pure hatred, And today, I'm being who she wants me to be, that she knew that I could be.
How hard was it to carry that much hate?
It wasn't hard at all. That was the only emotion that I knew. I never knew what love was, what true happiness was. The only thing that I knew for these emotions was what I was taught while I was locked up was.
So 10 years ago, I see you at, Ivy. You minding your business, I'm minding my business, and I see you say, hey, bro, how are you? I'm stretching my hand. What would be your reaction?
Well, first thing I'd be is like, I don't know who you are, so I don't even know why you're talking to me. That would have been my reaction.
Okay.
I did that for a few years. I would go into bars and stuff, and I'd have somebody come up and talk to me, and I didn't remember who they were, and I used to tell them, dude, do I even know you from somewhere? I don't even know why you're talking to me.
That didn't matter which race they're on? Or if they were non-white?
If they were non-white.
That would be your response?
Yeah.
What if you at the store and I'm pay for your grocery? Would you deny that too?
Yes, I would have.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
Yep, because I'd be living by the 3 rules that we had in there. No smoking, no drinking, and no eating after anybody. So I could not accept nothing from you.
Definitely no association.
Exactly.
What if you need a blood transfusion back then, and the only blood you can get is mine? And you know.
And if I knew, I wouldn't take it.
You wouldn't take it? You would rather die?
Yeah, because I was willing to die for mine.
Before you mixed up with any other race?
Yep.
Wow. Mary, you're shaking your head.
Crazy.
It is crazy, but it's like...
it's crazy. To me, what's more crazy is that you can have those thoughts so firmly. Like, obviously, like, you'd be willing to die, but now I see Terry like
different
this.
Light.
Terry, it's Terry. Like, it's just not the same person. So it's crazy, but I'm just so proud of him because it's not easy to completely shift that thought process.
And that's what I was saying. It's probably more hard to shift than to stay on that same path.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can't even go up and ask to get out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Once you're in with one of them gangs, you're not getting back out. You're in for life. There is no asking and going up to them and say, well, I want to live a normal life with my wife and my kids. There is none of that whatsoever. They come first no matter what for your entire life. And that's the first thing that they discuss with you when you join. And they let you know that by all these rules, that's the main rule right there.
Oh, man. Sorry, man, I'm adding this in your life. You cover the tattoo, now you got black friends, you're in trouble.
And it's like I told you before, I'm not going to lie, I was really, really nervous about putting myself out there doing this today. But even though I'm still sitting here and I'm nervous right now, I still feel this weight, just like, this is another part. Mm-hmm. It's like whenever Mary got done doing a tattoo, I was like, whew, I feel so much lighter. And then when we did the last one, my God, it was like, I feel so different,
That was emotional for sure.
And now doing this today, it's another part of my journey. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I want other people to know out there, if they need somebody to talk to, If they want to get out of something and they need that support, that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. I go around, I give my stories at treatment centers and stuff, and that's what I want to do. I want to help.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person that destroys lives anymore. You know, I want to help build a life up. There's nothing better than seeing that expression in somebody's face when they're actually finally getting it.
Yeah. Now, talking about that, speak to that young white kid who joined these racist gangs, and they start having that doubt in their mind, I should not be here. But they're trapped. Right? They don't have the mentality of the 57-year-old Terry.
Yeah.
They want to find a way out in the most safety way they can. What's the first step they need to do?
They need to reach out to somebody.
Okay.
What really helped me is when they finally found the right therapist for them to talk to, and to start talking to that therapist, because the therapist can help out so much with your thought patterns.
Okay.
Because if you don't have somebody that helps you with that thought pattern or anything like that, and it doesn't matter if they've been there or not, just that they can discuss it with you. Because one of the things about a therapist is you get to sit there and tell them what's going on with you. They don't come up with the answers for you. You're the one that comes up with your own answers. So you feel like you're building from that. And then what you need to do is you need to find somebody that's like-minded with you, and you need to find somebody that's willing to help you. If it was a youngster, say he's in his early 20s or even a teenager, I would try to spend as much time with that person as possible.
Okay.
And remember,
that will help you to shape your mind.
Right. And it doesn't matter what gang they're in. This is what you have to do. You have to show them that there's more love out here from other people than that gang. That gang has them convinced that that's their family. That's their mom, their dad, their grandma, grandpa, everybody wrapped into one. And you need to show them that there's people outside that can be a better influence, a better family, and show them that they're the ones that matter. Not the ones that are around them, but that they matter. Because for me, what I did, I was always concerned about how they've seen it. I didn't ever do anything in there for me. It was always for them. And so you need to have that person to help you guide along and do that.
So we need more people like Mary out here.
Yes.
Than
people like you. People like you that are willing to listen and to step out and take this chance and reach out to people, so.
Thank you, Mary, again.
And thank you.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the biggest misconceptions you heard about gang? Because I think most of us are so blind, we cannot even tell if somebody's in a gang or not. You were telling me something when we were sitting outside talk. You say, now, most of the gang, they don't allow tattoos.
Yes, a lot of them now are not allowing people to get ink because they don't want them to be validated anymore.
With their outside people.
Exactly. Right. When you come to the outside now, they don't want you to be noticed as much like it used to be, where everybody wanted to be seen, wanted to be noticed at all times.
Yeah.
And today, they don't want you to be seen that way anymore. Because you have businessmen now that are in gang.
Yeah.
Yes. And they hold high rankings, and they also might be some of the soldiers, but they're doing stuff in that business that the gang profits from.
Wow.
So, and you would never know. Yeah, let's say I never got into this and you didn't know about any of my ink, and I didn't have none of that ink, I could have been one of them attorneys that's what my job was, and so I never got validated, but I'm still a part of that gang. You have attorneys, you have police officers, you have all kinds of CEOs and stuff that are parts of gangs that people don't even realize it, and this is what the gangs are profiting from.
That's more dangerous.
Yes, and that's what this world is coming to, like that. People think that because you see this stuff on TV that it's not actually true.
Yeah,
but it is. They're moving up in the world. Their perspective and their sight of things is getting so much broader. You know?
Wow. You say something that crazy, because if I'm a lawyer and I'm involved in some of this gang, I can destroy people's life.
Yes, you can.
Because if I have to defend you, and let's say I'm a part of public defender,
Yes.
and I'm a part, let's say, of black gang, and I dislike all white people, and you come in there as client, I'll make sure you get the maximum sentence in prison.
Yep.
You will not even know it, that I'm a part of the gang.
Right. You know, you would do exactly what the courts want you to. You would help me as much as that the courts demanded.
Yeah.
That way there was no appeals or nothing like that. If they tell you, okay, we want you to make sure Terry gets this amount of time. So you go about it real slick, and you get me to agree to a plea agreement or whatever, that you're telling me, well, you know, you could get a life sentence for this, but we can plead down to a 25-year sentence or whatever. And so you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then you turn around and you help somebody that's in that gang that you're representing that nobody knows about, and you get them off with probation or something. That's the way it works these days. And people don't realize it. It's so much out in the open, but yet people don't realize it because it's hidden so well now.
It's just embedded right in our society.
Yep.
There's a lot of division in this country today.
Yes.
We can barely agree on the color of the sky.
Yep.
How do we unite?
I think the first thing that everybody has to do is not let other people influence the way they think. Because like what we've discussed before, politicians are influencing the way everybody thinks, whether it's conservatives or liberals. They're dividing us so much today, and we need to learn to think for ourselves and not let other people think for us. That's the biggest thing right there.
What do you think, Mayor?
I think people definitely need to just relax. The way I see it is this thought that I have about this. Is my thought or my opinion, is that going to change anything? Is it worth getting that worked up about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'll see some people that will get so stuck on their opinion that they shut out anything else. They can't hear, you know? So maybe for one, communication and listening skills need to be grasped, and just people need to learn how to just relax. Like, life is so much better when you can just chill and hear other people out and agree to disagree, or you know, I've had to have this talk with my kids before too, like when they're dealing with mean people at school or something, you know, like someday those people will or will not realize like they're going to get a lot more out of their life if they can choose kindness instead of, you know, whatever that they're going for. Like, otherwise they're just going to get stuck in a cycle of unhappiness and division, and people just got to learn like how good it feels to not get so bent out of shape about things, and to be able to show people kindness no matter, you know, and
most of the time is the little things.
the little things always lead to bigger things, always. So little habits, you know, if you make a little habit of, you know, just being a little more open-minded and just not letting, like, I've seen families fall apart the past few years because they have a difference in opinion on this or that. And especially politically, you know, I just see a lot of people just so set in their ways that they're incapable of hearing anything else. So
That kind of touches on a little bit like what we've discussed before too, because I've noticed, especially during COVID, is that as long as you worried about that person, they were happy. But as soon as you show concern for yourself and you're not, then everybody, you were this or you were that. You know, everybody's wants you to be worried and what you can do for them, but they're not willing to step out and do anything for you.
Terry, this is probably a question for you. What can we do with the race relationship? How do we fix that?
That's a real hard question. It starts at home. It starts in the public schools. We have to teach our kids that nobody is any different than each other. We can't be like what we were discussing earlier, throwing the racist word out there all the time, where you call just anybody racist for anything they say. We have to get politicians to quit saying this party's for that, not worried about you as black people, or this party is so much worried. We have to show that we all care about each other.
Yeah.
But until we can get everybody to come together, it's not going to work, because too many people out there want to see the divide. It doesn't matter if it's family members, friends, or whatever. Everybody wants to see us divided. And as long as that little seed's out there, gangs like what I was in and stuff are going to flourish.
Amen to that. What is your regret?
My biggest regret is that I didn't see this earlier in my life. Otherwise, I do regret my life, but yet I don't regret my life, because it's making me the person that I am today.
Yeah.
Now, there's things that I've done that I'm not proud of whatsoever. But can I ever take them back? No. But I'm learning from them things that I've done. I use it, instead of using it as a fear tactic or anything like that, now I use it for a learning experience for myself.
Do you just go around the states, kind of talk to people about
Yes, I give my story. I let them know that this doesn't have to be that the person that they have to be, that they are today. Because I try to get everybody to know that all of our stories in some way, shape, or form are the same. We all have a story, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It could be different things that happen, but it's all the same.
Yeah. Everybody who comes to you want to get the tattoo, they have a story.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have to get to hear all those interesting stories. There's a catch to your job. Terry got a different story. What do you if a client comes in, they want to get the swastika tattoo on?
No, we've turned other stuff down before.
Oh, really?
As well. Yeah,
I did not know if you just obligated to do your job.
No, I mean, that's something like our name's associated with it. We're not going to tattoo something that we don't
Believe
in or that we feel could represent us. And, you know, if it's going to be something that would make people question, like, who we are as people, like, that's just not who we are.
Oh, interesting. I thought it was one of those things like, oh, you want that be done? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I do know there is some shops, but for the most part, I know a lot of shops these days, they will not do stuff. So that's refreshing to see.
Yeah. So the only place then you can get those in prison.
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
The majority of them, there are shops that people out here that do that.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the tattoo artists that do it are associated. So
okay, I see.
yes.
Now, have you done a lot of work to cover people's tattoo, like Terry's stuff, or?
I've done other stuff similar to Terry's, and we just had probably about a 70-year-old guy just came in and talked to me the other day. Had a Leonard Skinner rebel flag, you know, something you wouldn't think too much of, because, you know, my dad growing up, like, you know, he had Leonard Skinner stuff in his little bar area.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he's like, I don't like the way people look at me with this little, and it's just a small little eagle with a rebel flag, and I'm like, yeah, we can cover that. So it's cool to see this older generation starting to acknowledge that, though, you know, and come in and be like, you know what, I think I want that gone. So that's really cool.
Interesting. Well, Terry, thanks for your change of heart.
Yes.
And wanted to share your story with me. And I hope we can reach as many people as we can. And if somebody's out there need help, hopefully by them listening to your story, they might not give up.
Yes. One of the things that I can do, I don't know if I should say this on your show or not for listeners, but whether it's somebody that's wanting to get out or if it's a family member that is having problems with somebody in their family that wants to be this and how to cope with it and what they can do, people can make a difference and change.
Absolutely.
And that they can reach out and help somebody to make a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, thank you very much for sharing your story. I think it's important people to understand it's not where you're coming from, where you're going is more important.
Right.
Yeah, and Mary, thank you very much for connecting me with this guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because he almost tell me that you're the bulldog. You need to be here just in case I get out of line. Yeah. Thank you guys for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you for reaching
absolutely.
out.
Thank you.
Thank
And if I
you.
could add one more thing,
Yes.
I think it's important to add that always be kind to people. Do not judge them. If I would have judged Terry and turned him away, like what would his, it could have been a different situation. We wouldn't be sitting here right now. And I hope that someone out here, even if it's just one person, hears this and goes, I'm going to turn my life around too. Like I can change is possible, because it doesn't matter your backgrounds, but then it's also up for other people who aren't struggling. If you've built this big table, invite other people to sit at it. You can really change people's lives. So it's not just up to the people who are struggling. It's up to everyone else to be there for them.
To be open up.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to open our hearts.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Like what Terry said earlier, it could be as a small thing as saying hi to somebody.
Yeah,
That could change everything.
it really can.
Yeah.
There's too much hate in this world the way it is. We all need to come together and start loving each other. First you start liking a person. You start caring about them and loving them. Whether it doesn't necessarily have to be a spouse or anybody in your family or anything like that. It can just be somebody that reached out and helped you. And then you pay it forward. That's all you can do, pay it forward.
And all members of the church say amen.
Yes.
Amen to that. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Yep. That was Terry Hansen and Mary Brown. Thank you for listening to Iowa Civil Rights History Podcast. Until next time, be safe.